As we recognize that we are of prime creator, so are we the living mind, body, soul, flesh, blood, spirit, men, women with their progeny on the land, soil, and dirt of our state, known as Oregon. Here, to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. As stated by an Oregon State Representative, Mike McLean, some time ago, freedom of thought and expression are fundamental to a free society. Our duty to protect our liberty begins with knowing the limits that our Constitution places on Oregon's government, and I will add, on any governance. To be truly free, we are no longer in experiencing the original jurisdiction of common law and the laws closest to God's law and the laws of nature, but rather we are needing to be aware of the perversions set upon us by the Washington, D.C., I call it the Washington death cult, with their minions of followers of statutes, ordinances, and codes, with an excess and a criminality our founding fathers thought well to take into account to the best of their ability, yet knew not how perverse and defiled governance has become. This gathering of awake and aware beings on this call and attendant are called to action to hear and vote on evidence in this case and cause of right to travel and the failure of due process for which the defendant will be pressing charges. You will hear a series of occurrences to but one woman on Oregon, that being Michelle Hendrickson, who's here, Michelle Ropp Hendrickson, on Oregon, who took personal responsibility to truly learn the laws, the legislations, literally the rules of the road, and her rights as a free woman of our Creator on the land and soil, Oregon. You are here as a grand jury and or as a witness in the de jure form of common law, that of the people on the land and soil, unlike the stolen de facto grand juries now performed by corrupt judges in monetized courts required by costly attorneys who are foreign agents practicing a foreign form of law, and all to make us indentured criminals. In our Oregon Constitution, the use of all roads, ways, and waterways are declared a public use. Because the DCers think everything is about commerce and making money, we are lumped into that being their chattel from birth to death. No less true when ensnared into the court system. All state drivers' license and motor vehicle codes derive authority from a broad interpretation extended from the Commerce Clause in the U.S. Constitution. Most states, especially Oregon, define their classes of driver's licenses in terms of commercial activity. If there's no evidence that your private automobile, car, or truck is engaged in any commercial activity for hire, and or that you are being paid, where did it go? Pardon me, I'm a lot here. Sorry, guys. I don't know where it went.
Don't worry about it. You're allotted 1 full minute.
Okay, a second. I took it here from. Okay, if there's any evidence that your private automobile, car, or truck is engaged in any commercial activity for hire, and or that you are being paid to transport people or goods as an employee, then there exists no jurisdiction for the officer, deputy, prosecutor, traffic court judge to take any actions against you. Remember, a license is a government-issued permit to do something that is otherwise illegal. This was a quote that was provided by Ray. I found it in my emails from 2014 when I was putting together the travel kit. So I thought that was important. All right, so These are due process charges in a right to travel case and cause where one of the people repeatedly, can you all mute, please, on the phone line? *6. Where one of the people repeatedly gets arrested and jailed for no lawful nor legal infraction. Please mute *6. Where in common law there is neither harm nor damage to anyone nor to any property, and therefore is innocent of any trespass, though she has been unnecessarily harmed, charged, defrauded, and trespassed, and I will add jailed, against repeatedly. Due to the numerous infringements on her constitutional rights and to multiple kidnaps, trespasses, and imposed fines, the defendant will be opening a civil court case into the Portland Federal District Court. We will provide the proceedings and facts from this grand jury into that case as evidence. Okay, I'm going to read what Michelle provided for me in terms of the sequence of events that occurred over the course of time from February 9th, 2021, all the way through this last Saturday when she was going to be arriving at a function that we were all having, that she and her mother were coming to, as well as Bobby and some other members, but got kidnapped. Literally, she was kidnapped and taken to jail again on some phony bench warrant. She provides it as war rant, WAR-RANT, appropriately. We are at war. On 9th of February 2021, Michelle Renee Ropp Hendrickson was stopped as a result of entrapment by City Police Officer Brian Hagan in the Newburgh, Oregon Fred Meyer parking lot. His reason for the stop was because of no front plate on Michelle's car. Michelle was arrested and taken to jail for, quote, failing to present and carry a driver's license, end quote. Officer Jeff Moreland was called in to assist. On March 9th, 2021, a month later, Michelle was again stopped by officers Brian Hagan and Jeff Moreland in the Allison Spa parking lot, Newburgh, for having, quote, illegal private plates. Tickets were issued by Officer Moreland for, quote, failure to present and carry a driver's license, end quote, and failure to display license plates, but no action was taken to arrest. This has happened to others of our members, by the way. On the 28th of March, 2022, Michelle was approached outside of her car by Officer Brian Hagan in the Newburgh Fred Meyer parking lot. He issued a $10,000 ticket for displaying private plates. That's hefty. On August 11th, 2023, Michelle was stopped on I-5 in Clackamas County by an OSP trooper, Oregon State Police. His reason for the stop, he did not recognize the private plates displayed on Michelle's car. Michelle was arrested and taken to Clackamas County Jail for a bogus, quote, failure to appear, FTA bench warrant, issued from Newburgh Municipal Court. On the 10th of February, 2024, Michelle had breakfast with her mother, Bobby Graves, and Trish House at Jay's in Newburgh. That's this last Saturday. As they were leaving, Officer Jeff Moreland came in with his teenage daughter and son. Michelle recognized him and he her, but they did not exchange pleasantries. He also had a clear view of Michelle's car with her private plates from his table in the restaurant. After exiting the restaurant, Michelle and her mom traveled north on Highway 99 West. Just after crossing the county line into Washington County, Michelle noticed an unmarked black SUV tucked away on the left side. Michelle and her mom were in the right or the slow lane, and after passing the SUV, he immediately got into 99 West and proceeded to stop Michelle and her mom in the Timberline Baptist Church parking lot. The reason for his stop was because of no state-issued plates that were visible on Michelle's car. Michelle was again arrested for a bogus failure to appear bench warrant coming from Newburgh Municipal Court. Michelle was taken to Yamhill County Jail, the long way to McMinnville, and proceeded to be violated with a strip search and extorted for $1,000 upon release of 4 hours later. It is Michelle's belief that Officer Jeff Moreland made a call and set her up to be harassed again by Sherwood Police Department Officer Pierce. A subpoena for Moreland and Pierce's phone records would provide evidence if this is in fact true. Michelle is planning to open a civil court case in the Portland Federal District Court. And one more thing here, I gotta drink water. At issue is our unalienable rights as codified when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to, number one, dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and two, to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should, three, declare the causes which impel them to the separation. 1776. The 1777 Confederation and Perpetual Union's articles styled the United States of America's Constitution, 1859, prior to 1861. The United States of Washington, District of Columbia, Inc., is the de facto. We are sovereign, de jure men and women with our progeny, without ruler or subjects. Michelle is not party to number one, and they are, have been, and will continue to be de facto, without jurisdiction. We are no longer deceived. The provisional government on Oregon claims cognizance, number three, original jurisdiction is guaranteed and is not forthcoming, if not forthcoming. I don't understand that last part. But Ron, I just read what you had written where it was not forthcoming. Can you clarify that? I didn't.
Yeah, we're not getting what we're promised.
Got it. Okay. So that's all I have. I do want to also add that in our travel kit, from which some of this information comes, we have a living testimony in the form of an affidavit of truth, my right to travel on Oregon, which is basically one page plus a little bit more on a signature page. If you can all see this, which Michelle did fill out and had witnessed by two people. We need to add two more to it, but this is all, this happened just Saturday. So we're spinning here as fast as we can. And we will be witnessing this in addition to the two witnesses that she has on here for her to be able to submit to the court and as evidence to the federal court, should she choose to do that. Okay, so with that, all of that shared, does anyone have any brief questions? And you can either ask them of myself or Michelle or Ron, or does anyone have anything they want to bring up or discuss? Okay, Brandon.
I'm just curious. I know that originally you were fighting him to not provide an ID or license, but you eventually did give him the license. Is that correct? Or an ID? You're muted. Yep.
No, I didn't give him, because I don't carry a license. I don't have a driver's license. I recently had my passport done. So this last Saturday, I showed my passport. But previous to that, I had shown my credentials card. And really, that's it.
Okay.
I would
And
also.
is your passport?
Go ahead. I'm sorry,
Is
Brandon.
in all caps or no?
Pardon?
No.
Is the passport name is not in all caps?
Yes, it is, actually. Ooh.
Did you let the officer know that that's not you? Just curious.
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
I yield.
But I also went to the extent to provide explanatory statements and several other documents stating who I am and who I'm not. And once I get my master file back, the Department of State will force them to, if they haven't already, it will force them to correct the information on their side. But I will say that I have lived as in commerce until I got into all this as Michelle Renee Ropp. And on my passport, I've been using Michelle Renee Ropp Hendrickson because on my birth certificate it says Michelle Renee Hendrickson. But I have never used that in my life until now, or the last, several years. And the passport agency allowed me or honored how I wanted my name. So I thought that was pretty interesting because I've never gone through a legal name change or anything like that. But they actually made it on my passport as Michelle Renee Ropp Hendrickson. So there's something to that too, that they're respecting my wishes. I yield.
Thank you. Before I call on Mike, I just wanted to add in here about licensing. We have docket number 09, which now we're changing from docket because that's Admiralty to cause number, but it's 09112022A, which some of you who were on here were in our grand jury at the time when we voted on licensing on Oregon, that free people don't need permission. Licensing, boards, permitting, certifications, registrations, regulations, authorizations, county commissioners, et cetera, including at this time specifically Washington, Multnomah, Clackamas County boards and or commissioners and Portland TriMet as governing bodies. So it goes on, but we actually did have a grand jury on the whole issue of licensing and permissions, permits and that. Okay, go ahead, Mike. You need to unmute. Mike Brooks, your hand is up and you're muted. You need to unmute if you wanted to speak.
I'm sorry. I
That's
did.
okay.
I was wondering if Michelle and the rest of you had told her just how corrupt the federal courts are in this state.
Yeah, that's not what we're not here for that. We know that. We're all here.
I'm aware. Yeah.
It's not going to get justice with Aiken or McShane or those people. It'll be impossible.
Well, I feel like I have a pretty solid, I'm going to keep it simple and use their what they use against them. And we'll see how it goes, but I have a solid case.
You have, I don't think it matters. It's like I have a solid case of showing homicides by the state against Native American kids. I mean, they were basically denying medical care to foster children and killing them. They brought that up in the hearing.
I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt. But we need to stay focused. No, we need to stay focused.
What I'm going to say basically is that Aiken appointed a U.S. attorney on her own.
No, Mike.
Not appropriate here. This is for Michelle and a grand jury. We know about the courts.
That's what I meant, is that the U.S. attorney's office
we're done.
is...
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mike. We're here to vote, and we're just providing information from Michelle so that we can speed through this, so that we can do justice for her and provide evidence for whatever she needs. Okay. Okay. So before we vote, are there any other questions, comments that are pertinent and brief? Eric.
Michelle.
Eric is speaking. Go ahead, Eric.
Michelle, that ticket that you got that was $10,000. They let you go on $1,000. Do they consider that to be $1,000 that you paid in bail on that $10,000 ticket? Is that how it was looked at, or?
that $10,000 ticket, it went away. It has nothing to do with anything because I flamed all of them so hard. It's definitely, it's like a nothing burger. It has nothing to do with what they did was put $10,000, for my failure to appear, bench warrant because I never show up. So yeah, that two separate things. That $10,000 ticket went away. I yield.
Well, what about the $1,000?
Bail.
Well, that was 10% of the $10,000 bail. They wouldn't let me leave until they extorted me, and I made sure to use the word extortion many, many times. I said, "How much is the extortion?" And he kind of looked at me. I said, "That's what it is."
So there was a $10,000 ticket and there was a $10,000 bail. So two separate charges.
A ticket. It's $10,000 ticket and a $1,000 bail.
Yes, but bail was 10 grand, and they only want 10. You only have to pay 10% of that. That's how it works.
Right, I understand. But so the $1,000 was for the bail, which is separate than the ticket, because the ticket was resolved.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yay.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Eric. You can go ahead and put your hand down, Eric, and mute, please. All right. Is there anything more? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Can I speak?
Yes, please.
Okay. I just had a question about the Fred Meyer's parking lot. Parking lots are private property of the businesses that work there, so the police don't have jurisdiction there, do they? I yield.
Good point.
Right. I mean, he was trolling. Yeah, that is a great point. But, he was literally trolling, which I made it very clear in my notices that he was stalking me. He was trolling. He was just waiting for me because I go to Fred Meyer, 3-4 times a week. So, but yeah, you are correct. It is private property.
Okay.
This is Rod.
Okay, Rod, briefly, please.
If I could add something. Charlie, I have something that may help. I won't go into it right now, but I'll email you some things that may, an option, a possibility that some things that I have that they may just drop this whole thing on her, so,
sure.
But I'll email you some of that information.
Thank you, Ron. Appreciate that. Okay, yeah. Please do. Yeah, copy Ron on it too, would you please?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anyone on the call line that I can't see your hand?
Charlie. Sorry, Charlie. Can
yeah,
you
Sherry
send
Elizabeth.
That to me too? Okay.
Yes, I will. Okay. Sherry Elizabeth has had a very similar experience as you, Michelle. So it's we're glad she's here, and yeah, I wish you could vote but you're not on Oregon, so you're here as a witness, Sherry Elizabeth. Thank you for being here. Okay, anyone else?
Thank you very much.
Cynthia had her hand up.
I can't see it. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Cynthia. Cynthia, do you have your hand up? And I can't see you.
I can't see her either. She went away.
There you are.
Did. I made faces too. So, no, I was going to say the same thing that you did. Mike, we're talking about, you're talking de facto court systems. We're talking de jure right now. We are in a de jure system, and that's what this is about. It has nothing to do with what they're going to do. We're submitting our paperwork to their court, and I yield.
Yeah, thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, Cynthia, we don't mean to Mike, to cut you off. It's just that we need to stay focused here on what this is about. So we really appreciate your presence. Okay. All right, so let's proceed. Does anyone have any other questions before Tanya takes the vote? Okay. No. Okay, Ron.
What are we voting on exactly?
Okay. Good point. So first of all, this is failure of due process. And and it's about, well, it's right to travel. So,
Well, it's also deprivation of rights under color of law. You know, that's
yes.
kind of the most obvious
Yep.
one.
Yep. Okay. So let me just write that down so that I have that on the record. So
USD 242.
242, deprivation. Say it again, Michelle, what you're saying. Deprivation of rights to travel.
Deprivation of rights, just deprivation of rights under color of law.
Okay.
18241 and 242.
Correct.
Wouldn't it
18,
be
you, yes.
repeated
I've got food in my mouth.
Okay, repeat that again for someone who didn't hear it.
18 USC 241 and 242.
Very good. Thank you, Sherry Elizabeth. Yeah, Ron?
18 USC 3571.
571. Okay. Deprivation of rights under color of law. No due process.
I mean, I can go down the line. Illegal search and seizure, you know, harassment. Boy, I don't have it in front of me, but I have a lot of things.
Okay, go ahead, Ron.
We only need a preponderance of evidence of one thing right now.
And that is, okay. So we need to have one thing for people to hear, to vote yay or nay on. So give me that. Deprivation of rights under color of law.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to go ahead.
I like deprivation of rights from
Trish House.
due process, violation of due process. And that was 18 USC 3571. I yield.
Okay.
Would it be repeated
Thank you, Ron.
deprivations?
Due process.
Each violation is a separate incident.
Yes, but they're all under due process, violation of due process. Okay, so we've heard some of the list of those. Illegal search and seizure. She was actually harassment. She's followed. She's basically surveilled. She's been arrested.
Kidnapped.
Yep, kidnapped, trespassed. She had to do a strip search. Just horrible. I mean, think about how demoralizing this is. And then to be handcuffed and carried off in a police car, and her mother goes with someone else. I mean, it's horrible.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Real criminals, when people that commit real crimes get arrested, all others are either abducted or kidnapped. I yield.
Yeah.
Well said. Here, here.
Yep. Thank you. Okay, so I just want to remind before Tanya takes roll call for your vote, that those of you who are voting, who are able to vote, have signed, autographed this form, which is living, it's an LTA is what we call it. It's a living testimony in the form of an affidavit of truth. If you have that, if you've signed that, or you're not sure you've signed it, when Tanya calls your name, she has the record of this. So do not vote until everyone who has signed their LTA is in our jury pool. Otherwise, afterwards, you can vote. It just won't be with an LTA, but you will be voted in as a witness. So we'll keep those records separate. One will be with the LTA in our jury pool, who have signed with the qualifications of, you know, living man or woman, no bar attorney, et cetera. And then the rest of you as witnesses, please be sure to vote and say that you are serving as a witness. Melissa, your hand's up. Go ahead.
Yeah, Charlie, hey, I just wanted to ask too, what about her private property? Did they impound it? What did they do with it? Because then that would have left it unattended
The
or
car was still there.
abandoned,
Yeah, the
right?
car was
But
still.
they,
the
Well,
car.
yeah,
Go
they
ahead.
did.
so it
They
would have
did
been,
one time, yeah, but the other times, no.
and that
Thank
would
you.
have been again another infraction on them by
Yeah.
leaving your property unsecured or unattended, by anyway, that's your private property was also affected by this situation.
Let's
I
also
yield.
say, yeah, thank you, Melissa. Let's just say that there are numerous due process violations in this particular case, all of which Michelle has fair evidence for, provable. So, this goes
Well,
over the course of time. So let it be on the record that when you vote, you're voting for numerous deprivation of rights and failure of due process. Okay, wait a minute.
and
So
I also
go
want to
ahead,
let
Michelle.
everybody know that I did go through, pardon me, I went through the administrative process, so I did everything properly. I served
Yes.
them, gave them many chances. I stood in honor. This has been for 3 years. So
Yes.
now is the time to take them to the cleaners, if you will. But somebody's got a lot of noise in the background.
Yes, they sure is noisy. Everybody mute, especially on the phone calls. I can't even
It's
see
a
the
phone call.
I can't see
It's a
it now.
351 number.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
it could be any number of people on the phone. Those of you on the phone, please mute *6 if you're not already muted. And you'll have to unmute to vote, but that will come after we get everyone else, just be ready when your name is called. And Tanya, you'll need to give them time to unmute if you call their name, since you know that they're here. Go ahead, Ron.
And this will generate presentments to prosecutors and true bills to our court.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. So we will proceed. Tanya, would you like to call for the vote?
Brandon had his hand up.
Yeah, I vaguely saw that. Go ahead, Brandon.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, so I don't forget, and I let Michelle know, you may want to also file a restraining order against those cops, just to let you know, as far as those cops go, so they can't continue to harass you, or if they do, there's already something on record. I yield.
Go ahead, Michelle, and then Guy.
I did try to do. I tried to do that a couple times ago, and they refused. Yeah.
They want to harass you, and they're not going to be stopped. Go ahead, Guy.
Try to do it again, and if they refuse, have them provide you a letter stating so if you can, or something. I would.
Agreed.
Right. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
I agree. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Guy, you're muted, hun. Guy, you're muted.
Can we mute the 351 call there on free conference call with the dog barking?
Yeah,
No, we can't do that. If we mute free conference call, we can't unmute it ever again during this call. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Do not mute that physically through this Skype thing. Whoever's making the noise on their phone, they need to do *6. Otherwise, we're just gonna have to deal with it.
Brandon, why did you mute Guy? I don't understand.
I was muting anything that had a microphone still showing.
Well, Guy was talking. Okay, so let's proceed. Let's hope that the people on the phone call can hear this. If you have a dog in the background, can you place your vote pronto? Let Tanya know who you are on the phone and mute yourself, or maybe be done, because it's very distracting. Okay. Who has the dog on the phone call?
Probably Tanya. They have a number of them.
Well, no, I'm looking at the, well, okay. All right, let's go ahead.
It's 351. It's whoever has
I know
the
that's
351
the call.
number.
No, that's the call in line for numerous people on it.
Oh, I apologize. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, William, how do you vote?
Let's state the issue. So we are voting again, we are voting to agree that there is a deprivation of rights and due process. Yay or nay?
Yay.
I vote yay. Tina?
Tina, unmute.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Laura?
Yes.
Morel?
Morel, unmute.
Sorry.
Morel.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Thank you.
Kim?
Who?
I vote yay.
Kim Swagger.
Yay.
Richard?
Richard, unmute.
Yay.
Rod?
Yay.
Absolutely.
Mark?
I vote yes.
Carrie?
I vote yes.
Patricia?
Yay.
Patricia, do you have an LTA?
Yes.
Teresa?
I vote yay.
Eric?
Yes.
Rose?
Yes.
Milt? Milt?
Milt, if
Yes.
you're voting. Thank you.
Ray? Ray, are you still there?
Single?
Yeah.
Grace,
Are you there?
I can't see him.
I don't see him either.
Okay. Farwell?
Yay.
Michelle? We already know how you vote.
You're muted, Michelle.
I vote yay. I know. Yay for myself. Thank you.
Guy?
Yay.
Cynthia?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
Christina?
Yes.
Charlie?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Tracy Richardson, do you have an LTA? You're still there?
So, this is Morel. Did you say Tracy Richardson?
Yes.
Yeah, Tracy Richardson.
Tracy Richardson is my daughter-in-law.
Oh, so you're using her. You must be using her Skype because it showed that name.
Okay.
Yes, I'm on her and my son's account for the telephone.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anne?
Yes.
Jason?
Is Jason on?
The answer is yes.
Thank you.
Brandon?
Yea to a preponderance of evidence of deprivation of rights and violations of due process.
Yes.
Dr. David? Dr. David, are you there?
Did you say
Unmute.
David Ogle?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Christina Hudson, do you have an LTA? Christine? Are they still there? Christine Hudson. Oh, yeah, I can see her right there. Christine, you have to unmute. Okay. Dane Dodson? Do you have an LTA?
He has an LTA.
Yeah, I believe he does. I remember it.
Okay. What's your vote?
Yay.
Melissa?
Yay. Yay.
Trevor? Gina?
Yay.
Hudson, do we have an LTA for you? Hudson?
He might not be on because he goes in and out.
Yeah, he may be.
Okay. Don Baker, do I have an LTA for you?
He has.
Yes, you do. And my vote is yes.
Thank you.
Mike?
I believe I have an LCA and I vote yes.
You do. You do.
Yeah, I know he has an LTA. Okay, so the only ones that we didn't get was Christine, Hudson, and Ray.
And Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby.
Oh, well, no, Bobby was there. Okay, Bobby.
I'm here, but I never got called.
Yep.
I vote yay.
Okay, you got to have your name on the board. Didn't have your name on the board.
It's right here on Skype.
Looking right at you.
Yep.
My name wasn't called either.
Okay, who's this?
And who's that?
Catherine.
Oh, good, Catherine.
Catherine Hudson?
Huddleston.
Yeah,
Very
I
good.
called you. What's the vote?
Well, you called it Hudson. It's Huddleston.
Okay.
Anyway, yes, yay.
And then Tanya, it's Houston. Houston is, you
Okay,
keep calling him
Houston.
Hudson, but his name is Houston. Yeah.
Is he back on?
I don't think so.
Did I miss anybody else?
Has everyone been able to vote? Okay, did we clarify Hudson then?
He's not on.
Okay. How many do we have? Those are all yays. How many do we have?
A whole bunch.
A preponderance.
18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20, 31, 3, 34.
I got 34.
35.
35.
I've got
Okay,
35.
great. Awesome.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Okay. So we will be writing a presentment and a true bill. All right.
Charlie, do you have the number that's going to go on this form?
Amazing.
The number, yes. Oh, yeah. It's today's date, actually. Oh, 02.
And I have I'm casting my vote for yay.
Okay, right.
My
Thank you.
witnessing.
Thank you, Sherry. So Sherry Elizabeth
you.
is voting even as a witness. Any other witnesses who don't have LTAs but want to voice their vote? Thank you, Sherry Elizabeth, for speaking up on that. Okay. What was the question?
And after we wrap this up real quick, I just wanna
Wait,
wanna say something.
Sherry, we're not done.
After it's all wrapped up, before we say goodnight and stuff.
Okay. What time?
I need the number that's going on the
Yes,
form so I
thank
can
you.
put it in the
Yes, the cause number. The cause number is 02-12-2024 MH.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. Then he jumps out of the car. And he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, just shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I thought, I swear to God, he was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.